So now, well,
What do you say? He said the prices of things going up because they want people to afford steel. I'll just retire.
Good evening, all. This is the March 20th meeting for the Town of Warren Zoning Board of Review. I'm Chair Andrew Ellis. To my right is Jason Nystrom, Bert Rodriguez, Michael Elves, and David Francis. Mr. Elves and Francis are normally alternate members. However, we only have 5 total members present, so they will both be voting members this evening. I don't know what happened to Maya. We'll just press on.
These two are
Were you,
gone.
Mr. Nyson, were you here for the first go round of this application?
I was not. It was in January, correct?
All right, so you can just sit on the sidelines and watch, as only the 4 that were present for the first application that's on our agenda will be actually voting members and participating in the hearing. We do have a quorum for this evening's meeting, so we can proceed. The first matter is approval of minutes, which were circulated by email for the February 19th meeting. Is there any discussion or is there a motion?
Make a motion that we accept the minutes as read.
Second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Minutes are approved. We have no new business. We're starting with old business, which is the only business we have this evening. Firstly, of the 3 applications on the agenda, 2, there's a request to withdraw. So application 2503 and 2504. They were both for a special use permit to construct a 2-family dwelling in the R10 district. This was Centurion Property Group LLC owner Nicholas A. Ferrara applicant, located at 21 Homestead Ave, plat 13D, lot 97. The applicant has requested to withdraw these two applications for special use for the two-family dwelling. Would someone like to make a motion to withdraw those without prejudice?
I make a motion to
Okay.
withdraw
Without prejudice.
without prejudice, application 2503, as well application 2504.
Okay, is there
I
a second?
second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, the motion is passed, so those two applications are withdrawn. So we come back to application 2502, which was continued from the January meeting, which is Centurion Property Group LLC owner and Nicholas A. Ferrara applicant, 21 Homestead, plat 13D, lot 97. This is a special use permit request to unmerge the two current lots of record in the R10 zoning district. The applicant would like to come forward, please. Good evening.
Good evening, Chair. Good evening, Board. Thank you
So,
for
yeah.
tabling tonight and seeing this matter again. Appreciate
Yeah,
that.
so we're following up on our January meeting. We withdrew your special use for two-family homes, and now you come back with new materials indicating you want to split, unmerge the lot and build two single-family homes, one single-family home on each lot.
That is correct.
All right, so can you just describe briefly the scope of your proposal?
So after thought and consideration, I felt it best to iron out the ruffled feathers, not pursue the multifamily request. As you stated, erect two single-family dwellings, which will be owner-occupied properties. They will each include two integral garage spaces, which will mitigate any parking concerns that the board or surrounding abutters may have. You know, just the simplest version is I'd like to unmerge the land, two 6,400 square foot lots, after which I will see the building official for building permits to erect the structures.
And so at the time you're ready to receive your building permit, the structures you're proposing would need to comply with all other applicable zoning requirements, or if not, then you'd have to come back for relief if you wanted to change the setbacks. or
Sure,
do
so
something.
I know we touched on this briefly about the percentages and whatnot. Included in my package is the percentage chart, which clearly states the percentages of a substandard lot. And if you check the print, I have the outline envelope, the dotted outline envelope showing those requirements, as well as the solid line structure fitting well within that envelope. So all of those matters should be well within its limits, where I think it should allow not to have to come back for any type of variances. And maybe
That's fine.
Sir Ferrera could,
They will, at the time when you're ready to submit your plans, the building official will review the official, whether you're having an architect or contractor, whoever's going to draw up the official plans. The building official will review that and make sure that it's compliant. And
Understood.
If there's anything that needs relief, either you can iron it out with him, or if you want to come back for a dimensional variance if there's something.
understood. And I just bring it up because you touched on that in the
Yeah.
last meeting and wanted those facts, so you
Yeah.
do have them now.
Yep, so yeah, we have demonstration that two single-family homes reasonably fit within the lot and the setbacks that are required
Yes, sir.
for the property. So the issue before us is simply the unmerger of these two lots and whether or not the unmerging of these two lots with the intent to build a single-family home on each would satisfy the conditions of a special use. And you feel through the materials you've submitted, it demonstrates that.
I feel they absolutely do without question.
And can you just speak, I think we had a question the last time, just speaking to, how do you feel that making these two separate lots as you're proposing to build houses, is that going to serve the public good and welfare?
Well, the biggest service to the public good and welfare is increasing the economic viability of this parcel by helping directly to the housing crisis, which there's more need than ever for housing. We can refer to an article just published on February 12th on the Warren Town website. I believe it's called the Warren, I forget the actual name of it, but it's on the site. The need is greater than ever. So we're increasing the supply by 2 homes, of
Yeah.
which there are only 5 available single-family homes in the community, one of which is close to $2 million. So home ownership in Warren is near out of reach. By creating 2 single-family homes, owner occupied again, we're not having rollover of tenants. We're not gonna have a landlord lacking his property. We're gonna have owners that are gonna have the upkeep that'll help the neighborhood stay in the community and pride of ownership.
And you feel the proposal is compatible with the surrounding land use, which is also residential?
Absolutely. We have residential, single-family homes surrounding the property. Right across the street is a similar home, which is a raised ranch. That's why I tried to make my design fit that to kind of blend into the neighborhood as well. So I feel that the characteristics of the home and the fact that the butters are on 6,400 square foot lots as highlighted and outlined on one of the sheets we also have in the packet show that we are fitting the overall footprint of the neighborhood.
And you've testified here tonight specifically about not creating a nuisance or hazard. I think you alluded to you're creating ample off-street parking.
Absolutely, more than enough off-street parking, which is why I wanted to ensure not 1, but 2 integral garage spaces, as well as a driveway that could fit up to 4 cars as well. Not saying that, you know, a single-family 3-bedroom house would have, you know, 6 cars, but we do have space if they have company or whatnot. I don't think any parking or traffic congestion should be a concern.
And you spoke to an issue that you said was a concern about owner occupied versus tenant and absentee landlord. And you stated your intent now is that these are owner occupied houses.
Absolutely, without question, sir.
Okay. And you feel it's compatible with the intent of the town's comprehensive plan with regard to goals for housing in the town?
I absolutely do. It'll help with housing and it'll also help the municipal tax roll as well. So it's kind of a win-win and benefit for all parties involved.
Does the board have any specific questions before we entertain any comments from the public? If you just want to have a seat for a moment. So in the packet that we received, yeah, there's a letter dated received March 4th, 2025 in Town Hall, dated February 24th, 2025. This is from Gregory Parisi at 16 Homestead Avenue, Warren, Rhode Island. This can be, has been recorded as part of the record. I don't know if we already had an exhibit A last time, perhaps. B, this is B. Okay, this will be B. So the context of this letter was mainly speaking to, I believe, the previous proposal to have 4 units on the property, and there was concern about overcrowding, things not fitting on a small lot. And the main point of the letter was he was urging the board not to approve that. Since the special use for 2-family housing has been withdrawn, the balance of the letter seems not as relevant now. But anyone from the public who is present who would like to speak about this application is invited to come forward at this time.
I was here at the last meeting.
Yeah,
Um,
so there's been a change in the application.
There has been, and now, so on that same parcel of land, he wants to put 2 separate houses.
Yeah, before it was 2
Before it
separate
was 2
structures.
duplexes.
with-
It's still 2 separate houses is what he's saying,
Correct, it's 2
Right.
buildings.
which still is gonna be on the same size lot
That is correct.
that he wanted to split in half.
Yeah,
The neighborhood in that area is small. I know that you know, that. I grew up there. I lived there my whole life. And the other argument you had was, that there's a lot of apartments around there and you're doing this for, you know, to give the town more places to live. And
well, hold on, Chris, he's gonna speak to us and then we'll come back to you.
so, see, I don't think anybody in the neighborhood would have had a problem if we wanted to take the house that's on there down and put up another single family house, because it doesn't really change the neighborhood. You're just changing the house. But instead, he wants to put 2 houses on the lot that one stood on. And the lots in that area are fairly large lots. So the two houses would be on really small lots there's another 2 houses behind it, an apartment on the other side of it. And they tore a barn down over there last year, which I was informed they want to put a 4-stall garage on right behind that as well. And that's an adjoining property. He doesn't own it. I believe it's his father that owns it. So I think you're asking a lot to put 2 houses on a lot that only has 1 on it and only has ever had 1 on it into a neighborhood that's already pretty much established, and there hasn't been any building there.
The applicant did submit a map here which shows 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 adjacent houses directly next to his lot that are
Yeah,
all
I saw it on the website.
on similar small size lots. So the applicant is making the case that what he's doing is consistent with the immediate vicinity of where he's proposing.
On the side street that dead ends. That's where those other lots are. They're on a side street that dead ends, not on the
There's
main road.
there's one on the corner of Homestead and Third, 6,400 square feet as well.
That's the one that goes towards the apartments up on the other side. But those,
Still in the
Still.
corner,
yeah,
right?
it is on the corner, yeah. Still,
Any
it's-
other-
you're still facing the same thing. You're
Yeah.
gonna take a lot that's got a single house on it. I mean, in that area, for some reason, I don't know why they did it back in the day. My lot is, I have 5 separate parcels on my lot. That is what it is. I don't know why they did it like that. I don't know why they do it like that, but they did. So in order to do that, like I said, you're taking a 1 house, a single family unit, and putting 2 houses on the same lot. If that doesn't encroach on the neighborhood, I don't know what does.
Okay.
That's all I have.
All right,
Thank you for listening.
Anyone else would like to address this application?
My name is Michael Ferrara. I live on 6 Third Street, the property that is right behind the property
Yeah.
that he wants to build on.
Yeah,
And I have a 6,400 square lot,
yeah,
and I look out and see that house. I think it would do the neighborhood better having that tore down and having 2 on the 2 lots where it cleans up both.
okay, so you're in favor of the proposal?
Yeah, I am.
Okay.
Absolutely. It's my father owns the property, and Nikki is my brother.
Okay,
But
well,
I don't see any wrongdoing with that. It would just create more housing, you know what I mean, in the town, like you said already.
okay, so you agree with the statements the applicant has made of why this is a good idea? Okay,
Absolutely.
so anything else?
No, I think that's really it.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else in the public? Okay, yes.
Good evening, Gregory Parisi. I
Oh,
wrote the
so we
letter.
have your letter. So
Yeah,
do you now understand that from the time you wrote the letter, there's a different proposal?
Yes, I do. So I think the only thing that would concern me now is and I can't picture it because I'm not in that, field of work, the curb cuts for 2 driveways across the street, because I live right across on Homestead and that paper road, that would be Second Street, I would imagine. So 2 curb cuts for driveways. All of the mailboxes are across the street on that side of the road. I don't know if that is a factor in all of this, but that's something else that I thought of. And then how does Second Street and the paper road, or whatever you call it, factor into the parking and the lot size of all of this? That would be my questions and concerns.
All right. I don't believe the curb cuts are shown specifically on the, oh, they are.
Yeah.
Want to look. The applicant's provided a plan that shows the curb cuts. Those would be subject to approval by the Department of Public Works. So this is. This one, or this is Second Street, right?
Yeah.
So you're at that one.
Yes.
That looks like they're coming right up the home.
Okay, so does that answer the question about the curb cuts?
Yeah, I guess it does for now.
There'll be two curb cuts
Yeah, and
on Homestead.
right on Homestead, correct, okay. And does the Second Street paper road factor into would that be developed, or would that remain as a
No, that has
open?
nothing.
I can't tell from the
It
plans.
has nothing to do with the applicant's
Oh, okay.
application. The paper road is there.
Yep,
It's documented, but it is outside the scope of his proposed development.
Okay,
He's not proposing to do anything with that.
okay.
So the applicant could maybe even put a curb cut on Second Street on that side of the property, correct? If he so wanted to. I'm
Definitely.
imagining,
To enter the property.
yeah,
I don't think Second Street is actually an improved road.
It's not, because that is how, that's how I get to my
but if
garage.
it's a paper road, it could be established, I mean, probably at the owner's expense at that point. I'm sure the town doesn't want to invest into creating a new road, but if he's the first house there, and he wants to, I'm just imagining that if he wanted to spend that kind of money, he could open his wallet up and put a curb cut,
No, the front's not.
rather than have it on the street,
The
put it
front-
on that side,
The
right?
front, the front's not on Second, so you usually do it, in these type of style houses, you put it in the front. On the side, you don't really have enough side yard. to get the drive.
Yeah, 'cause
You want it in the front.
Yeah, I mean, where the
Just
curb
possibilities.
cut goes will be determined by the Department of Public Works at the time
Mhm.
the applicant would be submitting construction plans for the project.
Right.
So they would have to review and determine where it is appropriate to have. a curb
Yeah.
cut.
And, okay, and then the other thing I could think of off the top of my head would be the utilities, and if, does the whole street need to get dug up to put these in, and if- how much?
That we that we
That's not you
couldn't
guys,
say,
yeah.
and that'd be up to the utility company, what would
Right.
have to be done to connect the public
Water,
utilities in the street.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Okay. Anyone else in the public? Okay, we'll close the public portion of the hearing. The applicant would like to come forward again. Do you feel there's anything you need to respond to from the public comments? Or
I don't, I kind of feel like it's best to leave
that's fine.
it simplest right now, without.
If you
Not for
feel,
more feathers. I understand people aren't really accepting, or really acceptive of change. If you look back to the comprehensive plan just really quickly, that paper road on Second Street was initially before the tax merger, supposed to mirror the neighborhood on Third Street. So it should have been all developed really with the town's initial plan, that is really null and void at this point. But the fact of the matter is, what we're doing here is helping solve many issues. And again, not to sound a broken record, it really increases the viability of the parcel.
okay. Any other questions for the applicant? All right, so we've heard the testimony. The applicant has provided his belief in how the proposed unmerger and construction of a single-family home on each of the unmerged lot meets 4 standards. I will say that this is certainly in keeping with both recently passed legislation and currently pending legislation in the State House, to encourage this sort of thing. And it may be in the near future that unmerger may be a right and may not even need, there's pending legislation that unmerging will no longer need any form of approval. So the question before us is, at this time, does this unmerger meet the 4 standards? And we'll see if someone is going to make a motion to that. Mr.
Mr.
Solicitor.
Chair, if I may, considering how this application came to be, it might be prudent for this board to put a condition that single-family homes are built on these lots if you approve
Yeah.
the special use permit. And I don't think the applicant's gonna have an issue if that's not been approved.
Yeah.
But it's gonna do some
Yeah.
protection for the board and the public.
Yeah.
Fine with that.
And I think we can cite the materials submitted indicating one single-family residence on each parcel as the applicant's intent. So the condition would be appropriate that based on his submitted materials, that is what he would be conditioned to. Someone ready with a motion?
Sure, I'll take it.
Please do so.
Okay.
Should we also add conditions saying that it has to fall within the setbacks of the size lot that it is?
Well,
Yes.
that has to be determined when he
But by
submits
the-
his
yeah,
plans.
that's-
I mean, he doesn't
We're not
have
dealing
to,
with the-
because he can come back and ask for a variance if he felt like it, but,
Yep.
that's entirely at his discretion.
What's that? Okay, I'd like to make a motion that we approve application number 25-02, Centurion Properties Group LLC, owner and Nicholas A. Ferrera,
Applicant 21 Homestead Avenue, plat map 13D, lot 97. Request for special use permit to unmerge the current lots into 2 lots of record in the R10 zoning district. I'd like to make that, approval on that to, that it falls in the compatibility of the neighborhood, enhancing the need for housing on the comprehensive plan. There are other adjacent lots, similar size in the area with single-family homes on it that was presented by the applicant. The special use will not create a hazard in the neighborhood, as there will be ample parking. There'll be 2-car garages plus parking in a driveway that would keep cars off of Homestead Avenue. The special use permit will be compatible with the community comprehensive plan. And again, as we said, Lauren's looking for more housing in the town, and the comprehensive plan is looking for that. The public convenience and welfare will be served. It'll be owner occupied and not be a leased property, which is, proper to the town. The house will fall in the lines with all regulations, that the ones that you're putting up, that you are proposing, are the houses that should be going up there. And they have to meet all standards and regulations through the building official when you do go to put them up. Anything else to add?
Special condition.
This condition is specifically that it be single.
Yeah,
family.
the condition would be specifically that, that single-family homes, one single-family home on each lot would be built as to the submitted plans that were presented to us.
Anything else anyone wants to add or amend? Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. The four voting members were aye, and Mr. Nystrom abstained since he was.
Just staring at the microphone.
Yeah. I will just add, with regard to concerns from the public, it's not that we aren't hearing you. It's that if you don't like what's happening with the direction housing is going in this state, then you should reach out to your state representatives, senators, and let them know, you have concerns about the state's push for putting in more housing on whatever available. So just that, legally our hands are pretty much going to be tied from having any authority for that. So when you're ready to proceed, you can submit your plans and he will review them. And if there's any further relief needed, you can apply for it.
Great,
All
thank you,
right.
Chair. Thank you, Board.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Thank you, Ben. Thank you, Matthew.
There's no new business on the agenda for this evening. Does anyone have any notes, administrative matters, upcoming absences, etc.?
We have a site visit coming up. Is it next month?
Oh, yeah, you
Yes,
scheduled
it
that
is.
from last month.
May?
May,
All right.
we're having a site
Yeah, that's
visit.
May.
I'm off. All right.
You're not going to be present.
No, I am.
That's
That's
us.
my.
Half hour before the meeting, right? Half hour before the meeting? Okay.
I'll remind the board that I won't be here next month,
You won't be here next
as I
month.
noted.
Okay,
January.
very good. Yeah, the May site visit, Maya will send a reminder. It's on the same day as the meeting.
Yep.
Yeah, half hour before, I believe.
Okay, very good. Anything else? Your motion to adjourn,
Make a motion to adjourn?
second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Hoorah.
The meeting is now adjourned.
What's that?